Hey y'all, real talk here. So, in continuation to me saying that something was ritualistically done to me in the military, aside from the normal rituals that one goes through um, in the indoctrination of becoming a warrior, um, that so halfway into my deployment into Iraq, or less than halfway. I'm going to hold names out of this for now. Those who do the investigation can go back and look in the records at the names. Got a new squad leader, and let's just say he was tabbed. And I told him that I was planning on becoming tabbed. And he didn't like that. He didn't like that. He didn't like the fact that I had airborne wings, and he did not. He didn't like the fact that I was a practicing Christian, and he was openly worshiping saintist. He came to our squad pinning a murder investigation that kind of got swept under the rug, along with so many other investigations for complaints that he had on him throughout his career. Kind of like a Catholic priest. Each time he had so many write-ups, they'd just move him along someplace else. Or, murder investigation, they moved him over to my platoon, or my company, my platoon, my squad. He became my squad leader, and he was so freaking ignorant. I had to bite my tongue on a lot of stuff and take his abuse, physical, emotional, mental. At one point in time, he even had some of my guys turn against me, and they held me down and attempted to shove a Maglite flashlight up my rectum. So anywho, a lot of stuff happened. A lot. Funny thing is I told all my VA doctors about stuff like this, and they just wrote down personality disorder. Had they actually put things truthfully in my records. But then again, all his bad deeds kind of get swept under the rug. Up until now. So yeah, once we got back to the States, he was fraternizing with myself and a few others, and we would all hang out at a bar in the local area that was open 24 hours, served beer out of mason jars. It was a pool hall called the Night Shift. I can at least mention that place. And I had relations with a bartender there, and once she was trying to get me involved with some people to buy illegal guns from them, I kind of put her by the wayside. And that squad leader, one night there at that bar, he happened to get into a heated discussion with a female. I wasn't there to witness it. However, others told me afterward what had happened. That he followed that female out to her vehicle and physically assaulted her, brutally. So anyways, one night I was there. I didn't see him there. The bartender that I had seen, I'll go and call her out. Her name was Jessie. I had only had 2 beers that night, and some of the guys from my platoon who weren't too friendly towards me, I saw them. They were the last ones that I remember seeing that night, and they were in my platoon. They were one was a corporal, and the others were specialists in Spec 3s, I do believe. They were all living in a house together off the post. So anyways, next thing that I remember is waking up naked in front of my barracks door, with no recollection of anything. And it had rained that night, so everything outside was wet, soggy, muddy, everything else. My feet were clean. Okay? So which means I was either A, stripped at my door, or B, stripped someplace else and then carried to my door. So I woke up. I was, oh shit, I'm in front of my barracks door, I'm butt-ass naked, so I started knocking on the door. My roommate Michael opens up the door, and he lets me in, and he lends me a pair of his shorts because I can't even get into my own bedroom of our barracks because I didn't even have my keys. So he gives me a pair of shorts to wear, so then I go over to another Michael's door, who's in my platoon, and I wake his ass up, and I kind of brief him on what's going on, and I'm like, hey man, give me a ride over there to those guys, so, you know, maybe somebody can tell me what the hell happened. Well, he gives me a ride over there, and they're all, you know, huddled up, sleeping together, and they all, you know, claim that, you know, I left on my own, that they don't know where I went. You know, okay. So then Mike gives me I said I wouldn't name names, but, you know, I'm not saying last name, so it's all good there. So anyways, you know, Mike gives me a ride back on the post. We have to kind of sneak me on because I don't even have my ID. So I hid in the back seat of a cab of his truck, you know, and, you know, the civilian gate guards, they just let us right on through. And we get back to the barracks, and the CQ on staff is some of my guys, because I was a team leader at the time. And they're like, hey, Mitchell, First Sergeant's looking for you. And I'm like, huh? Yeah, your clothes were found in the stairwell. Huh? Yeah, your truck's parked over there at the battalion training theater. Yeah, First Sergeant said give him a call. He's kind of pissed. And then I ran into Dan, who was also in my platoon, and he and I went through basic, AIT, and airborne. I mean, we the whole way through. He says, "Hey, Mitchell, First Sergeant's looking for you. He called me looking for you." I almost dropped the phone standing at parade rest, and I was like, oh wow. So I immediately called the First Sergeant. First Sergeant's like, and I'm like, good question. I have no recollection of what happened. He says, you better not have driven on post. I have no recollection of what happened. And I mean, other than talking to him, you know, the next Monday, no investigation was ever done. No investigation. So my clothes were found in the stairwell, strewn around in the company CP stairwell, across the street. Once again, my truck was found at the battalion training theater. I had bought a fan at Walmart the night before. I had it in the back seat. It was stolen. My front seat, my driver's seat, was laid frontwards because it was an extended cab. It wasn't, you know, these 4-door type trucks. You know, back in the day, we'd call them a super cab, I guess. I had $100 in my wallet the night before, and it was stolen. Half a pack of my Marlboro Light cigarettes were thrown on the floorboard of my truck. That's about all I can really remember. I have absolutely no clue what happened. I've kind of been wanting to dig into it and find out, but you know, was it the Army Lodge, or was it someone else, or some other body? But either way, after that, I started having some serious anger stuff. And I used to always just stare at the ground for some reason. You know, people used to point it out. And some other issues. I used to just fall asleep a lot when I got really stressed. I mean, I still do fall asleep sometimes when I get stressed. I start getting really tired. I mean, everybody does. The cortisol levels start going up and everything else. But either way, y'all, real talk. Something was ritualistically done to me, and you know, yeah, I'd love to know what happened. I'd have to be hypnotized for it, and that scares the death out of me. It really does. Because, you know, once you're hypnotized, there's no guarantee you're going to snap out of it. So anyways, real talk. As always, I do love you all, and namaste.